lends itself to being pulled off. Now, once it's off, and yes, you can spin that around 360. Once it's off, you have an excellent retention system. This is one of the best that I've handled yet in terms of the snap that this thing gets in there. And yes, it's new, so it's, oh, look at that, look at that. Yes, daddy like. Back to the sheath. Let's finish this up. There you go. Locks in there nice, holds the blade in there very well. No chance of that thing coming out. Will that loosen up over time? Probably, they all do. But for now, very, very good job. Nice and secure. Awesome job. K-bar. Easy in and easy out. And there she is. Just a beautiful knife. I just love these K-bar knives. Razor sharp out of the box. From what I can tell and from what I've read, it seems to be about 57, 58 on the Rockwell scale for you sharpen people or sharpeners that are familiar with that scale, and you knife users that are familiar with that scale. So very sharp out of the box. K-bar just does a great job getting these sharp out of the box. I will lend my challenge, as I always do, if anybody has gotten a K-bar that is not really, really well sharpened out of the box, please let me know. No one's taken me up on that offer. In the 5 or 6 K-bars that I've received of the folding variety and fixed blade, not one of them has come out of the box and not been razor sharp. I put some rem oil on it last night, so that's what you're seeing the remnants of, is the rem oil. There's the BK2 stamp, made in the USA. Awesome job. The sheath comes out of Taiwan, their manufacturing place in Taiwan, where some of their other knives are made. Look at this knife. This thing is a monster. 1/4 inch thick spine. And I want to give you guys the comparison to a knife that I know I need to get to a review on. The Cold Steel Recon Scout. I have used this. You've seen it in my videos. If you've seen the Autobahn adventure video, you saw the failure right here with the finger guard. Sent it back to Cold Steel. They sent me a new one right away. But this is about the BK. And how does this spine stack up? There you go. You've got a 5/16 spine here, so just over a 1/4 inch thick, and you got a 1/4 inch thick here. And does that extra 1/16 of an inch make a difference? Yeah, you bet it does. You bet it does. But I'll tell you, once you get into the 1/4 inch thick category, you've got a big, big hunk of metal, steel rather, to work with, and you're going to have excellent heft in the blade, excellent capacity to chop and split wood in the blade. This thing's going to be very, very durable. I've heard it described as a pry bar, a sharpened pry bar, which is probably pretty accurate. This is not going to perform fillet tasks very well. It's much too thick for that. But it'll perform a lot of other tasks very well, and I'll be putting it to use both in terms of splitting wood and some of the lighter camp chores, making fuzzy sticks and kindling and things like that. So, all right, let's get to the Steel 1095 Crovan, which, as I understand it, and again the disclaimer, I am not an expert. I'm not even close to an expert on knife steels. I know enough to be semi-dangerous, but you people out there that are more familiar with this would run circles around me. 1095 Crovan, which, as I understand, the Crow is chrome, and the V, if I'm pronouncing it right, is vanadium. So those two carbides are added to the process, to the 1095, which is a high. Now I have chrome on my mind. High carbon, obviously. 1095 is a high carbon steel. So you will have to protect this against rust, but it's going to have excellent strength, excellent wear resistance, and it's going to hold a pretty decent edge, yet still be pretty easily sharpened in the field. So those are the metrics that I really like to have in a knife that I'm going to be using often in the field. I want it to hold a good edge, and I want to be able to put a good edge back on it pretty easily out in the field. I'm not a master sharpener, so I don't want to have to spend a ton of time out in the field to put an edge back on it after I've been splitting a lot of wood. But again, a 1/4 inch thick, full tang all the way back, and this reminds me of the Rat series knives where you have the where they do the micarta, but this is the Grivory, that polymer over, and I think over the tang, and I think you got your 3 rivets. I think this is going to hold. I think this is going to provide better resistance to shock than the micarta will. But I will let you guys know. You heard my semi-criticism about the micarta, and everything has its advantages and its disadvantages, its pros and cons. But again, the micarta, very easy to care for, very, very durable. You can smash, all over the knife. Because 1, you have the full tang design, but 2, you don't have the glass-filled nylon handle, or you don't have the craton handle that you're going to bust up. So these they just wear very well if you're going to be splitting wood with them and doing other chores like that. But I bet what they don't do is absorb shock. It's like hitting if you were younger and you ever played t-ball or anything and you hit the end of the bat with the ball, it would vibrate your entire body. That's kind of what these tend to do. So I think this will be a little bit better than micarta, but I'll report back and let you guys know, and there's some modifications we can make to it if it does not